What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's discussion video, we have potentially one of the biggest drops of 2023, so be sure to sit back, relax, and let me know down in the comment section below what gets you guys most excited for 2023 and maybe even 2024. There are some really awesome listings that we're going to be breaking down in just a second, but we're going to kickstart things off with some of the official reveals that we saw, I think, on Transformers Tuesday. And first up, we have the 86 core class Ironhide. Now, we knew this guy was coming. You know, whenever they bring out a Ratchet or an Ironhide, they always repaint into the opposite character, and that's exactly what they've done here. This appears to be a slight retool of the 86 core Ratchet. Doesn't look half bad, you know, if anything it looks better than Ratchet in my opinion. Love the red colour scheme, I really like the head. It's literally like they took the 86 Voyager head sculpt, shrunk it down here to core class, and I love the core class just in general. I think it's a really sweet subline of characters, and considering we've got this guy, I guess it pretty much confirms that we will also be seeing that 86 Voyager Ratchet this year, which will be a repaint of the Ironhide that we saw last year. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff going on here. You know, they did retool the back of this guy, which I wasn't expecting. I was thinking maybe they were going to take the lazy route and keep the light bar on top, but no, they retooled the back, they retooled the head, and yeah, looking to be a pretty sick repaint. But that wasn't it for Transformers Tuesday, as we got one hell of a kind of mighty Dinobot drop, including some which I never even thought were on Hasbro's horizon. So we're going to kickstart things off with the next two Legacy Core Class Dinobot reveals, and one which I think is pretty exciting is kind of the 6th team member confirmed, and it will be Dinobot Scar. I think this is the Dinobot Medic. You know, I know some of you guys were thinking that perhaps they were going to give us Slash, but no, it is Scar, and he looks cool. You know, when I first saw the artwork of this guy, I saw the packaging first of all, I was thinking to myself, wow, you know, despite this guy not being canon to the 86 movie, I would love if they gave us this design in a leader class. I just think it would look incredible. But anyhow, as we take a look here at some of the actual images of the robot mode, not looking that bad. You know, these Dinobots have been kind of hit and miss as the waves have gone on, but you know, this one looks okay. As I said, I'm not too familiar with this particular Dinobot, but I like the kind of big stocky proportions that he has, and he will convert into the arm of Volcanicus, so that's something worth bearing in mind. He will come with an accessory, that in the form of this blaster, which kind of doubles as the combined mode hand. You know, again, doesn't look too bad for core class. Still sadly no elbows on this guy, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, the past Dinobots that we've taken a look at so far haven't had any elbows, so I guess why would Scar be any exception? And then we jump into the next one, which is Swoop. Now, I think out of all of the Dinobots revealed so far for core class, this one looks wicked, and it makes me so excited for that potential Studio Series 86 leader version, as if they're able to accomplish this much at the $12 core class price point, I can only imagine what they can do with a $55 price point. I mean, look at the robot mode, and first of all, you know, I didn't even really look at the design. I saw that he had elbows. Why does Swoop have elbows, but none of the other Dinobots do? I mean, he just looks like a proper solid core class just in his own right. Wicked looking robot mode, awesome proportions, love the articulation on this guy. And then we have an image of him with his accessories, much like Scar. He'll come with kind of the combined mode hands that will act as some dual blasters for Swoop, which looks pretty sweet. And then we have an image of him in the pterodactyl mode, which again for core class, honestly, doesn't look too bad at all. You know, if I were to be critical, I'm not the biggest fan of the shade of grey they chose for the wings, but you know, for core class, it's a minor qualm. Super excited to see that upcoming leader class. That is exactly what I took away from this. I was like, if they were able to pull this off in core class, imagine what that Studio Series version is going to be. But another one which literally dropped out of nowhere, and to be honest, I didn't even know this was coming. It's a Shattered Glass leader class Grimlock. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I thought they were pretty much done with Shattered Glass when they gave us Soundwave last year. I really didn't think there was going to be a third year, but lo and behold, here we have Grimlock, and I think this is a fantastic opportunity for those of you who missed out on the original 86 leader. It was only recently that I learned that that figure goes for ridiculous prices on the aftermarket, and you know, despite it not being in the traditional, more favourable G1 colour scheme, it still does give you a slightly more affordable way in getting the mould into the collection. But as far as the repaint goes, this one's actually pretty impressive. I mean, I like the details of the robot mode, very nice paint scheme. In particular would be in the shoulders and the chest. Unfortunately, he doesn't include any additional accessories. You know, considering that they left out Wheelie, I was hoping maybe they could package in a sword. It'd be a little cheeky considering they didn't give a sword to the G1 version, but anyhow, we merely do just get the blaster, and here is how he looks in the Dino mode. And I like everything besides the colour of plastic they've used for the neck. The neck really does, in my opinion, kind of stick out like a sore thumb. It's this really kind of pasty white / greyish plastic. I'll reserve my judgment for when I get it in hand, but yeah, some pretty big Dinobot reveals for Tuesday. You know, out of all of them, I think Swoop is by far the best looking, and I know that's kind of crazy to say considering his core class, but he looks really, really cool. And I guess it's only Snarl that remains. Here we have some actual in-hand images of how both Scar and Swoop will integrate into Volcanicus, and I mean, I recently took a look at the core Grimlock. I'm not sure if you guys checked out that review, but I said the leg looked quite squat in proportion to the rest of the body, and now we have the arms attached. Again, I really do think they are quite squat. I mean, the arms look quite long, and the legs are just so short and stubby and rather block-like, so I'm definitely going to maybe miss transforming a few components once I get the finished combiner, but it does kind of confirm that Snarl will be the opposite leg to Grimlock, which is going to be pretty cool, and then I guess it's just a matter of time before they retool this into Dino King. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you think. Here are some group shots of the Dinobots that have been revealed so far, and again, like I've said in some of those reviews, I really think these core Dinobots are going to be their best when they're a package, when they're a group, as individually, you know, whilst they are fun, I just think the whole kind of combining gimmick is really what makes this set. But now we're going to jump into some Legacy Evolution first looks, and it is probably one of the biggest characters for 2023, one that's been hyping up, I want to say, since 2019, when we saw a prototype of it way back in the day, and it is that we have official confirmation and a first proper look of the Legacy Evolution Commander class Armada Optimus Prime. Now, I know you guys have been wanting this. I've been teasing it throughout my reviews. I've been hoping Hasbro would eventually reveal it. You know, they've smacked him right in center of the Legacy Evolution poster, and lo and behold, here he is. And I think it looks pretty sweet. I mean, in terms of a commander class, it comes with everything that you'd expect from an Armada Prime, with the exception of no minicons, which unfortunately they seem to be scrapping minicons, which is a shame. But we have some okay images here. They're a little blurry. One of it is in the truck mode. Looks pretty faithful to how the original toy looked, to be fair. I mean, it does look decent. And then we have an image of Optimus Prime just in his standard mode, the core Optimus Prime figure, and it does look great. It really does. But one thing I noticed when I saw this Optimus is that this is a completely different mold to the prototype that was shown off, I want to say, at Wonder Festival in 2019. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty certain it was that. Not too sure why they decided to give him a brand new mold. I mean, maybe that original prototype was never intended to combine into the super mode, so that's why they've done a bit of tweaking. But I mean, at last, Armada Optimus Prime is here, and who would have thought? I'm intrigued to see the scale of this, considering it is Commander. Is it going to be something similar to what we saw as far as the Motormaster and the Rodimus Prime went? Are we dealing with kind of a Voyager scaled Optimus that will then be a little bigger once combined with the trailer? I guess only time will tell. But now we jump into some rumors, and you know, I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, that Armada Prime leak was so awesome, but the rumors really get me pumped because it's just open to speculation and interpretation. So we're going to get stuck into them. Here we have our first rumor, and it's of a Legacy Towline and Toxitron. Now, Towline, I wasn't too familiar with him. I think he's an RID character. As soon as I saw him, honestly, I thought it was like a Scooby-Doo crossover, but you know, it looks pretty cool. Apparently, the rumors are saying that this is going to be a retool of Scraphook, just with a brand new head sculpt and a very vibrant color scheme. I mean, it would make sense considering that the vehicle mode that Towline transformed into was kind of a pickup truck, and then we have Toxitron, which I think is going to be a repaint, maybe retool of Legacy Laser Optimus. That would make perfect sense, and you know what? If this does prove to be correct, I think this could maybe be the best repaint that we're going to see from that Legacy Laser Prime mold. I mean, the Scourge / Nemesis Prime they brought out was really cool, but Toxitron, you're just taking things to a whole other level, and it's great to see again some of these characters which, you know, 5 or 10 years ago would never see the light of day actually getting a proper Generations leader class version. Now we're going to jump into some of the less interesting rumors, or listings I should say. We have some confirmation of some upcoming 2023 Transformers RED figures. Now, honestly, I thought this line was dead. We heard nothing after we saw that Transformers Prime wave back in July or August, so quite a bit of time has passed, but apparently not. Somehow Hasbro have tricked Target into restocking these, so we're going to be seeing a G1 Sound Blaster. I mean, it's just going to be a lazy repaint of the G1 Soundwave. There's going to be a brand new figure, that in the form of G1 Grimlock, so that'll be pretty interesting, but unfortunately we'll probably have the most flimsiest rubbery plastic you've ever seen. Will probably look super cheap, so not too excited about that, to be fair. There's going to be a G1 Skywarp to go alongside the Thundercracker repaint and a Starscream that they brought out in, I think, the second wave, and then there's going to be a Transformers Prime Starscream. Now, you guys know how much I love Transformers Prime, and had I not already reviewed their Prime Megatron and Optimus, I would have been super hyped for this, but I just think they wrecked those figures. I mean, Megatron in particular was an absolute train wreck. The materials they use for these figures are by far some of the worst, so it will undoubtedly look cool. I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to be continuing the reviews for these RED figures. You know, after I took a look at Megatron, I was pretty much done with the line, but you guys let me know down in the comment section below. Would you like me to continue the reviews, or should I just put that one to bed? And now we jump into some super meaty, juicy listings, and it's worth mentioning we should take everything with a grain grain of salt because nothing is officially confirmed. These are merely just a few kind of UPC codes scatting around in the Target and Walmart systems, but you know, 9 times out of 10 they're always proven to be correct. So let's get stuck straight into it. So we're going to start off with the smallest scale, that being Transformers Core Class Movie 5, which is Transformers The Last Night, Mohawk. Now, you know what? I think this one is definitely on the horizon. Recently, we saw the Core Class Rise of the Beasts RC, and she's a bike, Mohawk's a bike. They're very similar in terms of scale. Yeah, Core Class is the perfect place to put Mohawk, and I mean, this is going to be our first official Mohawk figure. We really and truly didn't get many of those Transformers 5 Decepticons, which was unfortunate because I think they were probably the coolest looking designs that we've seen from the Decepticons in quite some time. I mean, I'm still holding out hope for Elite Class Onslaught. The day they reveal that figure, wow. But anyhow, yeah, we have here a Movie 5 Mohawk, so that's going to be pretty interesting. There's going to be a Movie 6 Rumble. Now, I don't know if this is movie 6 as in the Bumblebee movie, you know, could they potentially be delving into concept characters, or if this is probably just a mislabel, a Studio Series 86 Rumble, which would be a reissue of the one that we literally just saw a few months back for the 86 movie line. I don't know, you know, you guys, but if they were to do a Movie 6 Rumble based on Bumblebee, there is some source material out there. I think there's some kind of novelizations of the Bumblebee movie, you know, what takes place after that film, and I do believe Rumble does eject out of Soundwave, so if they are going to take this kind of conceptualized route, damn, I'm absolutely all here for it. I've been saying for so long now that I really think Studio Series needs to break the mold as far as sticking to movies go and branch out into other things. I mean, come on. Apparently, we're going to be seeing some War for Cybertron game characters later this year, and if they branch into conceptualized characters, they're literally exploding the multiverse of what they can potentially do as far as Studio Series goes. And let's be real, you know, once they kind of get through some of those main Transformers 5 Decepticons and then, you know, some of the Dinobots from Age of Extinction, as far as live action movies go, they're pretty much done. And by the listings, it looks like they're going to be doing most of the Rise of the Beast characters this year. But anyhow, the next figure we're going to be seeing is a Core Class Movie 6 Starscream, which I think is going to be a Bumblebee movie Starscream just in the Core Class. I think this was a rumor we saw previously. I might be mistaken, but yeah, you know, I can see this happening. We got a Core Class Bumblebee movie Shockwave, so it makes sense. There's going to be a deluxe class. Now, we're potentially treading into some spoilers, so if you don't want no spoilers for Rise of the Beasts, then maybe skip ahead a few minutes, but apparently there's going to be a Transformers 7 Scorponok in the deluxe class. Now, I don't know if this is going to be really Scorponok or if it's going to be some of those kind of drones that we see roaming around in the battlefield towards the final battle in the latest teaser trailer. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. I originally thought that those things were Frieza, but apparently not. Frieza is meant to be a whole separate character that's going to be solely based in Brooklyn, so I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Here is another pretty interesting one. This is another Movie 6 titled character, and it is Sunstreaker. Now, this is the reason why I think some of these Movie 6 characters could be mislabeled 86 characters, because if you cast your minds back to last year when we saw some of the listings for, I think it was Wheelie, he was originally called Movie 7 Wheelie, and then he turned out to be, of course, the 86 Wheelie. And Sunstreaker, you know, he didn't appear in the Bumblebee movie. I don't think there's any concept art or any form of him based on that movie. You know, he didn't feature in any of the novelizations. So yeah, maybe this is an 86 movie version. To be fair, I don't actually think we need an 86 version of him. I thought the version we saw for Earthrise was more than good enough. But you know, if this does turn out to be kind of a Bumblebee movie inspired version of Sunstreaker, I'll be really excited to see as to what they come up with as far as a concept design goes. But I think maybe it's more than likely going to be an 86 version, unfortunately. Then we jump into some more War for Cybertron listings. So there will be a War for Cybertron Deluxe Sideswipe. You know, I think in the next wave of Studio Series, we're meant to be seeing some of these characters. So we're about a few weeks, maybe a few months away from actually seeing our first look at a Voyager War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, a Cliff Jumper. So that's going to be super dope. But yeah, so next year, apparently, we're going to be also seeing a War for Cybertron Sideswipe. To go along with that, there's going to be a Voyager class War for Cybertron Starscream, which I am so hyped about because I thought the Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Starscream we saw back in 2012 was sick. So to see what they could come up with in 2023 in the Voyager class for this design, it's just going to be nuts. And like I said, they're exploding the canon of Studio Series by giving us some of these game characters and potentially conceptualized characters. Now is one that I think, you know, many of us have wanted since we saw the core version of it. Apparently next year, we're finally going to be getting a Voyager class Bumblebee movie, Shockwave. Now this one makes me super hyped because I loved Shockwave's design in Transformers Bumblebee, and you know, with some of the other B movie characters they brought out for that line, such as Soundwave, and in particular, you know, the RC and Wheeljack, they were so incredible. So to see what they could do with that design in a Voyager, you know, they're of course going to come up with a conceptualized alt mode. It's going to be nuts. You know, more than likely he'll transform into a tank like the original core class version, but it'll be interesting to see if they do something different with the alternate mode. Now we jump into something which, honestly, when I saw the listing, my mind exploded, and there are two possibilities of what this could be, and I think both of them are pretty sick, and I hope to see both of them, so I'll be happy with either. But apparently there's going to be a leader class movie 6 Megatron. Now, if we just take this as being a Bumblebee movie Megatron, then damn, I mean, I can only imagine what Hasbro would do with that design. I remember when they brought out some of the Cybertronian Bumblebee movie characters, and the designer's page, the comments were just flooded with, when are you going to give us a Megatron, you know, give us a Megatron, because I do believe there is some concept art of Megatron based on that movie out there, and we saw a third-party company do it with their version of Monocrat and Megatank, and that was insane. So if they were to give us a leader class of that design, it would just be awesome. But if this does turn out to be a mislabeling and it is a leader class 86 version of Megatron, you know, I think I'll be equally as excited, because I said, I think it was in the Tarn review I did at Christmas, I don't think we've really gotten a proper Megatron. The versions we saw for Siege and Earthrise were decent, but they weren't great. They were nowhere near as cool as the Earthrise Optimus Prime. So if we're going to be seeing a leader class 86 Megatron, I cannot wait to see how that's going to turn out. And the big question will be, what will it turn into? Will they turn him into an actual blaster, or will they turn him into some kind of tank? I hope they kind of get around the whole blaster issue. You know, if they can turn him into a firearm, it would be so awesome. Again, we're just gonna have to wait and see for probably this time next year, unfortunately. And then the final figure that we've got leaked for this listing, and you know what, to be fair, it's probably more than likely happening, is gonna be a leader class Transformers 86 Swoop. So yes, next year we will conclude the Dinobots. It's been going on since, I want to say, 2020. There've been knockouts. I mean, I recently reviewed Snarl, and wow, I didn't think the Dinobots could get any better, but that figure was just terrific. So next year our kind of subline of G1 Dinobots comes to a conclusion, and I'm so excited for Swoop. I think he's a slightly smaller character when compared to some of the other Dinobots, so considering his leader class, will they potentially be packing in some extra weapons with him? If they do, I would love to see all of the Dinobots' swords, and in the case of Snarl, maybe a blaster. I know DNA Design have kind of got us covered, but those upgrade kits are pretty pricey, especially if you do just want the swords. So if they give us the swords with Swoop, that's just going to be truly the icing on the cake. And I said in Snarl's review, I think these Dinobots are going to be the best set of figures that we've gotten for, you know, at least 10 years. So very exciting things ahead. All of this is just so exciting. I mean, in particular Armada Prime, but I think these 2024 Studio Series listings are just mind-blowing. I'd love to get your thoughts down in the comment section below out of everything discussed today. What gets you guys the most excited? And until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.